What is going on, traders? Happy Friday. I hope you guys have all been having an amazing day today, and I want to thank you guys so much again for tuning back into the channel today. But as normal, right, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a breakdown and let you guys know exactly how my day trading did go today. So let's get right into today's video. And as you guys can see right from the top left, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I personally am going to be trading on a simulation account for the next month, right? Just to practice and really, just gain some of my confidence back from the big loss I took yesterday, right? But let's get right into the video. And as you guys can see, today worked out pretty well for me, right? So I was able to recover a decent amount from the loss that I did take yesterday, although, yesterday was real money and today was simulation, right? But as you guys can see, I finished up $182 on the day, right? I was up $204 on SQQQ, and then I did lose $21 on TQQQ, right? And so these are all my filled orders. You guys can see, right? Not as many orders as, this past week I have been having, but I started trading right at market open at 6:31, right? And I stopped trading at 7:24. So today was pretty nice in the sense that I was only really trading for about an hour, right? A little bit less, and I was able to walk away with a decent, profit today and help recover lots of the loss that I did dig myself in yesterday. And so what did I end up seeing and how did I end up profiting today? Well, the Nasdaq, right, was indicating signs of an uptrend during the pre-market hours. It was forming these higher lows and higher highs. And then what ended up happening? Well, right at market open, right, we peaked out and then changed direction. So similar to how yesterday, right, if you guys do recall yesterday, right, we were selling off all pre-market and at market open, we completely changed direction and started a bounce and uptrend, right? Today was the exact opposite thing, right? So what ended up happening is we uptrended during the pre-market and then we had a complete shift in direction right at market open. So, right, pre-market we were uptrending, market open we shift direction. This thing starts to sell off aggressively. I noticed that. I start getting into SQQQ, riding the momentum down. Right around here I started to load off, but once I saw this thing continue to sell off, I continuously tried getting into SQQQ, right? This bounce here did catch me by surprise. I did end up giving us some profit back, but I was really focused today on making sure if I did profit that I didn't give it away, right? I'm trying to really figure out how I can, really maximize the trade without giving back everything as it starts to change direction. But as this thing started to shift, I did a good job of managing my risk, right? And then as this thing started to sell off again, I got back into SQQQ, rode this thing all the way down, right? Locked in a lot of my trade. And then what ended up happening, we were consolidating, right? I did try getting into TQQQ a few times, but as you guys can tell, this thing would just sell off. So I believe I got into TQQQ for my last trade right around this area as this thing, right, bounced, picked up, got rejected by the EMA, tried bouncing again once more, and as it broke above the EMA, I added to a TQQQ position, but this thing ended up selling off and I cut it, right? And as you guys can tell, that's when I stopped trading. But what ended up happening? Well, this thing traded sideways, consolidated, continued to sell off, right? Bounced, changed direction briefly, consolidated, and continued to sell off. Lots of selling pressure throughout the day, right? Then right around here, right around 9:20 a.m., we got this nice, shift in direction where we finally bounced all the way back up to the middle VWAP. Now, it was very nice to see this, selling pressure and take advantage of it. One thing I definitely really struggled with yesterday that led to my big loss and something I need to work on is, I'm doing a good job of maximizing my trades when it goes my way, but the issue I really struggle with is when it starts to change direction and turn choppy, I need to learn how to step back and walk away until direction's more clear, right? That's what was happening all day yesterday, which caused me to lose $300, right? This thing would start to change direction and I would start, I would just be very one-sided, thinking only it was only going to be one side, one side, one side, right? But if I did that all day today and continue to focus on SQQQ, the second half of the day would have wrecked me because this thing wasn't selling off. It was making these higher highs and higher lows. And if I continue to trade trying to force this thing to sell off, I would have given back all my profit. And I could have even ended up red on the day, right? So that's really something I've been struggling with. And if I'm able to really learn how to efficiently manage my risk and end up changing, knowing how when is a good time to call it quits and when to change direction, then that can really, be big for me in terms of my trading. Because as I mentioned, right, today was a nice day for me, but yesterday I really struggled with the changes in direction, right? And if we do take a look at it, this is exactly what I mean. So yesterday, this thing was selling off all pre-market. It changed direction. And so every time it started to sell off again, right? As you guys can see, anytime it started to sell off, I kept thinking it was going to continue to sell off because of all of the pre-market sell-off that it was having, right? I was very one-sided thinking, oh, now it's going to sell off. It would pick up, I'd cut losses, it would start to get rejected. Then I would think, oh, now it's going to sell off. So by having that one-sided thinking, it was really, really, doing me a disservice because this thing changed direction on the day, and I was really too focused on getting into the inverse ETF and getting in right when this thing reverses, right? But instead, if I focused on the bigger picture, realized this thing was, did have potential to bounce and continue to uptrend as it was doing, right? Because of the market open and the shift in direction, I could have been making a killing getting into TQQQ. I could have noticed every time it broke below the EMA now, it would really struggle to continue to sell off and it would form a higher low, right? It would pull on back, it'd struggle to break below EMA and continue to rally. So that's something I definitely need to work on and, something that can really allow me to maximize my trading. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today, right? As far as the NASDAQ is concerned, we're more overbought and are starting to pull on back. Doesn't mean we can't continue to uptrend, right? Of course we can. But at the same time, anytime it's approached these areas and broken above the EMA, it would consolidate and then get rejected, right? And correct itself. It did it once more over here, right? Anytime it break around these levels, it consolidate, get rejected, break above, consolidate, get rejected. So we did break above, we are consolidating, and there can be some form of rejection. Doesn't mean it has to happen, right? But that's why we are going to follow up with it. And guys, it is exciting because if this thing continues to sell off, that means it's going to bring down a lot of tech stocks with it, right? Like, for example, I have my eye right now on Snap, right? Long-term plays. I'm really interested in buying potentially into Snap. As you guys can see, this is the past 3 years. Look at how low it is in price, right? Meta, right, or Facebook. Look at how oversold it is. It's at $112. It's hit highs of almost $400. These are very good deals for very big companies, right? So long term, this could potentially be good, right? If you guys are in it to, invest long term. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys so much again for tuning back into the channel. If you guys are new, we really do appreciate you dropping a like and subscribing. It really helps us out a lot. And if you guys have any questions at all, stock related or anything related, just go ahead and drop a comment and I would be more than happy to answer that and even make a video on it. But I do want to thank you guys so much again for your time. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your Friday. And I will see you guys on Monday when my brother will be posting, right? So see you guys then. Take care.